Get ready. It's time. Christina, Catherine, Lisa, Amy, and Lauren. Welcome to the Cimarelli Podcast.
Hey, I'm Christina.
I'm Catherine.
I'm Amy.
I'm Lauren. And we're Cimarelli.
Welcome back to
The Cimarelli Podcast. Whoa, that's so low.
I know. My voice is kind of going
Yeah, really low.
because of the ragweed in the air is what I've been told. Look, you'll never
I don't even
get
know
it
what ragweed
because
is.
you don't have allergies.
I don't.
So I'm going to be talking
You'll
pretty
never
low
get
this
it.
episode because
So-
it's easier.
Amy. You want to do the intro? I tried to force Lisa to do it a while ago. And I thought she would like it.
She always
And
forgot
I think
what
it
was
stressed
happening.
her out.
Is it
But
one? Okay.
We found Amy has a gift for hosting, so she can try to do the intro now. I don't really love doing the intro, so I think it'd be cool if Amy can bring some personnel to it, which is what I was trying to do with Lisa. But I think it was too stressful. Too much structure.
It is a little stressful. Okay, guys.
But you like structure, so it works
I
for you.
love structure. So welcome back to the Cimarelli Podcast. This is episode 130, aka 130.
Yeah, see, Lisa always say,
And
what
today,
number is it?
Today, we're going to talk about something that I don't do very well, which is move on from things.
Oh.
And we're going to talk about things that are hard to move on from. And we're going to share our experiences and our stories moving on, much like a wave in the ocean.
Yeah.
Or at least attempting to be one.
This is because I wanted to do this episode
yeah.
Yeah, why?
because we came out with a song called Move On
Yeah.
recently, a couple
That's
weeks
the
ago.
reason
I don't know.
for
And
the
it's like,
season.
I don't know how to move on is like the theme of the song. So we're like, oh,
Yeah.
let's talk about that.
We love to see
Let's
it.
talk about it.
Also, welcome back to the studio.
I
Our
was
very
gonna
own
say.
Captain Chris
I give a
and
shout out
her
to
mini
Christina.
Christina.
Yeah,
Just
we got-
kidding. She's her very own entity.
We have another woman, another young woman joining us.
We're just
Tristan.
5 young ladies. Wow.
Another August 15th.
Another Leo season.
Gosh,
Yeah,
I didn't
another
realize
Leo
that.
joining us.
Welcome to the pod, Tristan.
So
I'm sure you have
welcome,
much to say.
Tristan, 6 weeks old, just chilling in Cedar Rapids. She's just chilling right now.
Also,
doing
I
great.
will say that yesterday, Barrett learned that this is where we do a podcast, and
Oh my
he kept
gosh.
saying, "Welcome to the podcast."
Wait, I walked by the door and I heard like really mischievous laughter. I was like, what is that? And then I saw him kneeling on, I think it was Lauren's seat right there. And he was going into the mic. And then he looked at me. I was like, Barrett, get out of here. Because he was holding the mic and going,
Hey,
There was a video of Barrett playing the flute on a ladle.
Oh
and
my
it is like the
gosh.
best video I've ever seen.
It's
Max and I
great.
were cracking up watching it.
It's a
Too
great
good.
one. But yeah, so back to us. Love you, Barrett. We're gonna talk about moving on. Yeah, and that's today for you. So buckle in. Get ready to move on.
well,
much like the
or struggle
seasons.
too and not really move.
So if you guys want to get every single Cimarelli podcast episode, you got to join our Patreon because we post all the episodes there. We only do half of them ish, basically. Because it's not really half anymore. It's like because we post part of the episode, on YouTube. So it's
Yeah.
not really half, but it's like you get all of them on Patreon. And you also get
Oh, I see what you're saying.
content. You get like Q&As from us and
You get Q&As, comment
Shout-outs.
patrons of the week, a lot of fun interactive things. And also
Behind
today
the
on
scenes.
YouTube, congratulations, you will be here with us the entire podcast.
hello, YouTube.
So
Yay.
you will not be here the whole time next week, but you'll be here the whole time this week.
So if you're
strap in.
diehard Cimarelli podcast fan, you'll probably love Patreon. And we've been told by lots of people on there that it's the most positive community on the
is.
internet. Just saying.
Wow. That's a good
No bullies.
No.
No bullies.
No bullies allowed. So should we go to highs and lows?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it.
Christina, I think you could start us
Okay, I'll start. Highs and
Welcome
lows.
back.
So I didn't even think about it. Let's see. High. Oh, I know. The high of the week was that she slept
I knew it
for
was gonna be
6.5 hours of a stretch.
out. That's amazing.
You look
That-
chipper.
Yeah, I don't really feel bad.
You look calm.
Yeah, you do look calm.
It's wild. So that was a high. But yeah, that's high. And then what's the low? No.
I don't have lows in my
I
life.
don't really have lows anymore. My life is perfect. No.
Love to see it.
Probably the low is just having hectic times where I'm like, ah! I'm trying to think of one hectic time that happened, but I feel like I just don't remember specifically what they are. Just moments where it's like Barrett, her, but then I like have to hold, she's not like, I have to hold her head and everything. I can't like have one hand here. If I could have one hand, it'd be a lot better. So trying to, and then he's like running off, trying to like grab a knife or something. Knife, sharp. So that's the hard, but we don't keep knives where he can grab them. But still, he tries. He like reaches up. He's like, reaches up on the counter and sees what is there.
would.
And then he started pulling himself, just putting his hands up and pulling himself up to the counter.
Christina,
This is not good.
you raised an athlete.
I know, it's very
Your
terrifying.
genes are too athletic
not
for their
right.
own good.
It's not good. All right,
ain't
next.
Okay, so I have a whole thing for you guys today. Basically, this is one kind of story. So last night was my high. After we filmed, I went to Subway, or not Subway, not Safeway, Publix, and got a sandwich. And then I got ready, and then I went to an event with my roommate. As I was walking down the stairs, she was like, "Are you going to sing?" I was like, "Are you going to sing?" She's like,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Do you want to drive together? I was like, "Yeah." Do you want to drive? She's like, "Sure." And I was like, "Are you really sure?" She's like, "Yeah."
Wait, I didn't even know you had a roommate.
Yeah, we have a temporary one. She's great. And so we
Don't even know who that is. but
go
okay.
up to the city to go to this event, and it was really fun. We get there, she's like, "I'm not dancing," because there was like dancing. First of all, it started off being like swing dancing. That's a lot, because it's disturbing, and I do not
Disturbing?
partner dance. Like, stay away from me,
What?
because it freaks me out.
They're like flinging you around.
Well,
though. It's
Okay,
kind of scary.
I want to be able to do that so
and there's all
bad.
these weird guys that are like,
I want to learn that.
I don't know. They just, I can't.
You just don't want to
With
live in your
Nick,
personal
obviously.
bubble. I
Yeah,
get that.
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
if it
someone
was
else-
someone,
You know.
No,
Yeah.
okay. It depends, right? Right? No?
I don't know. I just don't like it.
Isn't there the right person who's like not annoying, who's not like,
Yeah, for
if,
sure.
If it's like a really person who's like,
Yeah, yeah.
then you're like, get.
the spirit of the.
It's got to be someone really chill who's just like
Yeah.
loving life.
Yeah, someone just loves to
Yeah,
dance.
so I get to
they're
those
like, "Hey, you
things,
wanna-" No.
and it strikes fear into my heart because I'm like, no man come near. Me and Julie, we were doing this. She's like, "I'm not gonna dance," and then I pulled her onto the dance floor because they were playing Dancing Queen. I was like, "We have to." She's like,
God,
"Okay."
yeah.
So then they started playing all these fun songs, and they cut the swing dancing. I was like, "Thank you, blessed."
Cut the swing
And then we were doing this dance. By the end, we were like, no, it was great. It was really fun. She's like, "I'm not dancing," and then we danced the whole night, and it was so
Oh my
fun.
gosh, that's funny.
But it was really fun. And then my low, guys, is that lately I keep getting startled really badly and really embarrassingly and not daintily at all.
Keep having jump scares.
Yes, all day,
Every day.
every day.
I scare you somehow.
And it's so bad because this happened to me approximately 4 times last night where, okay, first of all, there's this guy, nice, whatever, but very loud, like myself. So like he'll do things like we were at the lake the other day, he jumped behind me because like down from this little ledge thing. And then I didn't know he was there. And then I went, "Oh!"
Did you fall in the lake?
No,
Oh,
because we were sitting
I
on
thought
the
you were
thing.
gonna say you
In the
fell in the
lake?
lake.
I keep,
Oh
when I
my
get startled,
gosh.
guys, I literally
Could fall in the
yell.
lake.
I literally yell. And
yeah,
it's so
you do.
embarrassing. So yesterday, he like tapped my roommate on the shoulder, like the made you look thing. And then they were literally talking about it. And he's like, yeah, like this. He tapped my shoulder. I went, "Oh." He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I scared you." I was like, "I'm sorry. Everyone scares me. I don't know why." And then he was like running by. They tapped my shoulder again. And I went, "Oh." Again. And then this
You're
is
on edge.
the best. Yes. Especially don't come up behind me, please. Never. And then, guys, this was the best moment of the whole night because it was so awkward. So I was with my friends. This rando who, okay, I'm not trying to roast, but he had a spirit of the unhinged. Just like a spirit of the creep. And I'm sorry. But like, I don't deal
Spirit
with
of
that.
the creep.
Yeah. So I'm talking to my friends. He taps me. And I go, "Oh!"
No tap.
Again. And then me and all my friends start dying laughing because this weird, like this guy just taps me. I freak out. And then we proceed to laugh for like a minute while he's standing
That was
there.
your high.
And then,
No, this is her low.
This is my low. But it was
that was
also
your
a
high
high
of the
because it was
night.
so funny. He's sitting there like.
Was
and
he
then
just
he's
like trying to talk or something?
He was like, "Do you want to dance?" And I was like,
no.
"Absolutely not. No."
You said
I
that?
said, "No." After we stopped laughing after a minute of him still standing there,
Oh my gosh, I feel bad for
I
this
was
guy.
like, I don't really know. If
He's
I'm-
standing there and everyone's laughing at him. He's like,
It wasn't at him because we were
No, it was
laughing at
not
me
Amy's reaction.
because
Okay.
I jumped once again. And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't partner dance. Bye.
Like, it's against my beliefs.
Literally. And this same
It's against my personal
Person-
I have a
doctrine.
herniated disc.
No, I just don't do it because I don't
Like,
have
can't
time.
reach. I'm sorry.
Or I just don't have the time or just the will to dance or be around any person that gives me the creeps. I just can't do
True.
it. And I'm not going to be nice about it. And
Don't do it.
I'm just going to be firm and respectful. But like,
Good.
I'm not
I
going to
love
do
it.
it. Because
I'm not gonna be
I
like
don't think it was rude.
as the crime
people
junkies
pleasing nice.
say, be weird,
She said,
be
"I don't
rude,
partner
stay
dance."
alive, you know?
True.
Yeah, it's
and
not.
true.
It's like it's not be. Yeah, it's kind of confusing. Yeah, don't be nice because you.
Yeah.
When you don't be nice and say something you don't mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Just
mean no.
Be respectful.
Say no
but just
respectfully.
say
Respectfully, no.
But also,
Yeah,
guys,
just
I
put
committed
respectfully before
I
it.
committed a friendry on accident because this random, once again, another person with no offense, a spirit of the creep, a little bit, spirit of a little
Oh my
desperation.
god.
Because it's like those people that look at every woman like their nameless, faceless apron, and you're like, no, I don't want to speak to you. He came up and started speaking to us, and I said, oh, I'll be right back, and I ran away and left her there.
That is a classic move for me. But I don't say I'll be back.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
I say I'm
oh.
gonna get water. That's my
Literally,
go-to
it
line.
was a friend of
I'm gonna go get
friendry
some
though,
water.
but she got stuck talking to him. But I was like, look, I have no
She
time
could leave
for it.
too.
I can't
could.
deal
She
with
could
it.
get water too.
So that's why we were stay away. Dance. It was great. It was really fun though. But yeah. So that was my highs and my lows of getting scared every minute.
My high is that I started going on a walk first thing every morning.
the best.
Waking up early,
That is
going on
literally
a
the
walk.
best.
Just like a casual
Highlight of my
stroll
life.
and not like a whole like intense thing, just like a mile casual stroll.
I love to see it for you.
And it really is changing my life.
Yes.
I feel so much better. Like I'm like anxious when I wake up. I go on the walk. I feel great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Lord,
Like,
I love that
what?
for you.
So that's my high is that I'm becoming a health god.
Love to see it.
I really am though, guys.
Good for you.
I'm trying to like not eat preservatives as much, whole wheat flour, whatever the heck.
Whole
So
foods.
pretty good. Yeah. And
it.
I feel great. Like
I love that
I
for
feel
you.
more like light and airy. You know what I mean?
You
love
seem
it.
more light and airy.
I
I will
am.
say.
Yeah.
Your aura, light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. My low though is that I am so sore for the last 3 days where it like hurts to walk.
What did you do?
I literally did like 20 squats. That's it with no weight. Okay. But then also
it's been there.
but then also was walking every day and running a bit,
that'll
doing a
get you.
second walk run in the evening.
Yeah.
And just continuing to do that, it just hurts.
Yeah.
So maybe it will stop.
I don't like that
soon.
soreness and it hurts to walk. I hate
Me
that soreness.
either. I don't. I
Not
like
right.
like a light soreness
Yeah.
where you're like, oh,
That's a good feeling.
but not like,
no, I hate that.
And it makes you so tired.
You have to like lift up your leg with your arms. Ouch. You ever done that?
no.
Oh, that's like lunge pain. Ouch.
Yeah. So, but I'm like, I'm building muscle.
Love that for
Next
you.
time I do 20 squats, probably won't feel like this.
I agree.
Love it.
Just saying. But
Love
that's
it.
my low, I guess.
Good for you.
I can't really think of a high. No, it's not been like a horrible week, but I can't really think of
Ooh,
anything like
I'll
that
give a
stands
high
out.
to you for you.
Okay.
When the boys wear those really cute outfits.
Oh,
Oh,
they're
that
little
was
shoes.
so cute. Wait,
Yeah.
didn't one of them stand?
Oh, that was
high.
a high. My son stood up for one of my
That was
sons
it.
stood up for the first time.
Yeah, that's so exciting.
Yeah, Leo. Good job, Leo.
Great work.
That was really special.
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
that was a high. This has just been like a busy week, kind of overwhelming.
Yeah.
My low though stands out to me. On Saturday night, I had a couple of my friends from my mom's group over. And I was like, oh, you guys can just come over. I'll put the boys to bed. It'll be fine.
Oh no.
Famous last words.
no.
So I don't know why this has not happened in literally probably, 4 or 5 months, maybe more. Dominic would not go to sleep. Would not go to sleep. I was rocking him for almost an hour. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I called Max crying. I was like, please come home. Because he was at like a guy's night. And then he'd been there for like a couple hours. So it's not like he like just got there. But I still kind of felt bad that I cut it short. But I was just like, I can't do this. ah. And I felt bad because my friends were downstairs hanging out and I was upstairs rocking baby for an hour.
Oh no.
So I was just like,
Did it get better though when he came home?
No, it still took Max like 30 minutes to get him down.
But
He
you
came-
weren't up there.
Yeah,
So
I
you
just
could
went
hang with your
downstairs. I
friends?
was like, he's up. I took him down with me. I'm like, we're hanging. It's all good. And he was just like, ugh. Yeah. So anyway. that
That's
was
rough.
rough.
That's tough.
It was rough. Yeah, it's like, why does this have to be the one night that I have people over and just assume that the bedtime is going to go fine, like normal?
Because isn't that how children work?
Yeah, they just know.
Because you're more like, okay, get everything together, and then they like feel the energy. That's what I've noticed with her. I'm like trying to get the energy right, like responds to the energy. It's rough. Yeah, it's true.
They know.
I mean,
So I'm like, let's do
people
some
do
calming
that.
exercises. Yeah, because they're gonna respond to the environment. So it's like, dang,
well, yeah, if you're with someone, like as an adult, their energy affects
You get
and how
wired.
you feel. Yeah.
like Amy.
Apparently.
Every time she goes in public,
Literally, just loud noises will startle me too. Everything. I don't know. Maybe I should talk it over with my therapist.
probably.
Could be.
Oh, we should do a quick update on Lisa. Is the same thing as usual, but I feel like so many people still don't even know and are asking like what happened. I feel like we should say it in every single thing we
Yeah.
do. She'll be back as soon as she's able to be back. She's only able to do like short things here and there with us right now. Like she's doing a shoot with us next week, but she's not able to come back like to regular hours yet. So we don't really know when, but hopefully things will go really well with Chad's treatment and it'll be soon. But we'll see. So she'll be back whenever she can. That's the update. So the 5 perspectives for today, where we all give our perspective on the question.
And also, you can give your perspectives in the comments because I'd love to see them.
Yeah, I've read a lot of your guys' perspectives answering this question, not this one, the question that we normally give. So that's fun to read.
I forgot what the question is, so
it's
I'm gonna be
what
surprised.
order do you put your makeup on?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Are we doing the whole routine or no?
Well, it should just be like
Yeah, okay,
face
I'll
stuff,
start. Okay.
eyes.
So-
I think it's the whole routine.
Yeah, it's not that long. I mean, okay, I do foundation, concealer, bronzer, blush, eyeshadow, eye stuff.
So you're
Did I
a
forget
face and then
something?
eyes person. Lips.
Oh, eyebrows.
Lips last.
Yeah, I feel that.
Eyebrows after concealer,
Okay.
before eyeshadow.
I don't even know what
Most
order
people
I
are
do.
either face eyes or eyes face is what it is.
Yeah.
They don't normally go
can't-
back and forth. I do
hear it.
eyes first and then face to like clean up.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good idea, but then I feel like I'll get foundation all over my eyes and eyebrows somehow.
Yeah.
What?
I know that's not real, but like that's how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that. Okay, let me think. I do,
You do face first.
yeah.
From observing you.
I do foundation,
Oh, Kat does
concealer,
foundation first. too.
powder, and then blush and bronzer, whatever, and then eye stuff, and then lips. And then
Okay.
eyebrows whenever I remember that they exist.
Okay.
I don't know about the
Yesterday,
eyebrows.
you did.
Yeah, I always
foundation
do.
first.
Well, unless I'm doing like a more
Remember?
glam eye. I can't remember the last time I did that. I mean, I think I did that like a couple weeks ago, but that
Unless
was
you're doing what?
like if I'm doing like a more glam eye, like if I'm going somewhere more nice. Oh, it's for a wedding. Okay, I did do so I do eyes first if it's a glam thing because I feel like you have more eyeshadow. But every day I do like primer and then I do concealer and then I do foundation. Then I do
Your
eyebrows.
foundation.
Then I do eyeshadow, mascara, sometimes liner, but I don't normally like to wear liner. Then I do blush. Then I do bronzer. And then I do highlight.
Interesting. Oh, I do highlight last.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But lately
forgot
I've just
about that.
been not wearing foundation. I only have been wearing concealer.
I feel like
I just don't have time.
The reason I don't do eyes first is because I feel like I look ugly
Yes.
when I do my eyes and the face and done, and it just makes me depressed. Even though after I put that on, I look
gosh,
fine. Like I'm just
yeah.
like ugly for so long.
It does look weird.
That is just
Yeah,
depressing.
That used to always confuse me when I started doing makeup. I was like, it looks bad, and then I've just quit. I had no idea it was because your eyes
you have to wait till
done
the end and
makes-
get out of the process.
Yeah, I didn't know that. If your eyes are done, the rest of your face, well, vice versa too.
Yeah.
If
and
your
too,
face
like,
is done, you have no eyes.
if you put
I
on,
don't
like,
think that looks that bad though. I'm like, okay.
maybe not as bad as the other one.
Yeah, it just looks
and
shockingly
I always
bad
think I
to
look
me.
so bad when I have just my foundation on because I'm like, my whole face is like a blank canvas. Like it looks like all the definition is gone. It just looks like more lifeless. And then you put the blush and bronzer and then it like comes back.
True.
Yeah.
I feel like that with just foundation.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Mwah, mwah."
I'm like, wow,
I just do
my
everything
skin is
so quick.
smooth.
I don't have time to think that it's ugly because I just go.
You don't even look. Why do you
I
make up
literally
your-
don't even look.
Wait, you don't
True.
look?
No,
It's a joke.
Not really.
I do it
I
so
was like,
quickly.
actually,
I
if you could
can't
literally do
dwell
your
on
makeup without
anything.
She
looking, that
can't
would be
look.
like, I would not put
Kat,
that past
I
me
can
if
do
she
a
could do
full
that.
face in 8 minutes, probably.
What?
Wow.
I can do this in 8 minutes.
I need like a minimum of 10.
That's
like a
why
full
I
face.
can't
15.
think that I'm ugly because
There's no time.
by the time I can think that it's over.
Okay.
That's funny.
Should we go to the main topic?
Yes.
The main.
Okay, so we got Move On, our new song, but it's also an old song and a new song. We wrote it when? A
Long
10?
time
Wait,
ago.
how many years ago?
I don't know when we wrote it, but it came out acoustic version in 2015
We wrote it a few years before
on
that,
Hearts
I
on
think.
Fire mix.
We wrote it like maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe
Something
less
like
than
that.
10 years
Around
ago.
2013, 14-ish.
Yeah, I wrote it a long time ago, and then a lot of you guys who have been here a long time, you know that song, but we never did the full version, and we love the song so much. So we wanted to make the new full version, which we did, which is out. So that's, as we said, that's what this is in honor of. So we're going to talk about something that was hard to move on from. So my topic is, I was going to do a relationship, but we did like breakups, whatever. I didn't want to do that story twice in a row. So I'm doing my miscarriage in 2019. And I'm going to reference my notes when I did this video of how I made it through my miscarriage. I had some really good notes, stuff that I kind of forgot. So that's good. So in 2019, I was pregnant for 7 weeks, the first time ever. Then I had a miscarriage at almost 8 weeks. And it was pretty shocking. I had no idea. Like, none of us had gone through that, obviously. I'm the first one, as usual. But my mom had gone through miscarriages. I even remember her as a kid. I remember her going through one. Oh, it was in the old house. So I was like, wait, actually, I should know the age because it was probably
In between Alex and Lauren?
Alex and Lauren? So what year would
So
that be?
like 99, 90.
Yeah, I probably was 8.
Or not 99, 97.
97.
Oh, 7?
Yeah.
I was probably 7, unless there was one in between. Nope.
Lisa and me, there was.
No, I'm thinking Alex and
Danny and
Alex.
Chris?
Lauren and Danny.
Oh,
Is there one between you guys?
I don't know.
Our mom
We
had
have a
4
longer
miscarriages.
gap.
But I remember when I was like 7, I remember her like crying in the bathroom and I was like, why is she crying in the bathroom? And then she kind of explained to me a little bit and I was like, I was so confused, but I also like got it at the same time. So it was interesting. It was an interesting
Wow, I
experience.
don't remember that at all.
I don't think anyone was there. I was just in her bathroom for
I
some
just
reason.
don't remember her ever like. Yeah.
I was always like, Mom, Mom, Mom. I was like a teacher's pet, kind of. I was like, what can I do for you? Oh, I'll handle that. Yeah, I'll get that. Got it. Okay. Remember when we used to go to McDonald's? I would write down the entire order as a 8-year-old. I would write down the whole order and then hand her, here's the order, Mom.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
Christina's
love to
secretary.
see it.
Love
So when I had the miscarriage, it was shocking. It was painful. It was all these different things. But I somehow like intuitively had there's a lot of things that like, okay, what came to mind, I remember, I wrote these down so I could remember these. The negative things that popped up or like my body failed me is like a common thing that's a common thing that will happen for all sorts of like pregnancy related things with women, infertility, birth trauma related things, miscarriage. My body failed me. That's a common one. So that came up for me. And like my baby is gone forever, never going to meet him, her. And then just like, how do you recover from that? What if this happens again? The fear of it happening again. So knowing that my body failed me is like a common thing that I'd heard a lot from the internet was really helpful because then when it came up, I was like, it's not true. So I was able to like talk to myself about that and be like, my body did not fail me. Like it did what it was supposed to do in the circumstances. Like whatever happened, it like did everything how it was supposed to. So I remember like right after telling Nick, like, we need to like let ourselves feel everything. And just whenever we feel the inclination to cry, we need to just let it out. Lots of shower crying. Isn't the shower just the best place to cry?
Yes.
You turn on a song and then you just get in the shower, you're just like,
Oh, yeah.
lots of shower crying. And then I would go to Nick during that. Not that. I would come out of the shower, then I'd be like, Nick, I'm sad about XYZ, say everything I'm thinking, and then like bring him into the moment too. That was really healing. So that was good. Like I set the ground rule for myself right at the beginning. I'm going to feel everything. I'm just going to let it all out. And then I was like I tried to think of all the negative things that are going through my head. I remember like I try to think of like, okay, my body failed me, blah, blah, all these different things. And then I talked to myself through them like, no, I found reasons why they weren't true. Otherwise, I was just going to sit there and I was not going to move on because all I was going to be thinking of was negative thing over and over. I had to come to a conclusion of like why that wasn't true or why it wasn't necessarily guaranteed to happen again. My baby is gone forever is an interesting one because it's like you get pregnant, you have this baby, but then you don't meet them. So it's like, where are they? It's like it's almost like a ghost. When we covered Ghost this year. That is such a good like miscarriage crying song.
Oh man.
If that song, I don't even know if it was out. If I had known it then, I don't think it was out. If I had had that song, that would have been a really good one for that. I was just like, ah. But just having our beliefs that the baby's in heaven and the soul can never just like be extinguished was very nice. Cause I'm like, she or he isn't just like, yeah, that's kind of easy. Like they're not just gone, but you just never see them. So kind of confusing, but that was kind of comforting.
Did you have a feeling if the baby was a she or he?
No. I think I always had a feeling of a he just thinking of because we have a boy first. I always think that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of confusing.
So interesting.
Because now I keep saying she now that I have a girl. But I think I was saying he before every time. So kind of confusing. When I think of moving on from this miscarriage and also moving on from like a really tough breakup, it's like the same experience of basically like letting everything out and then having some kind of like actions that follow, like things that you specifically do. Like I remember in my breakup, I went up to our driveway. We had like grass in the front of our house. It's kind of confusing to picture, but I brought a sleeping bag and I like laid there with a journal and I like journaled, listened to music. And I think I was writing out all the good times because I was trying to do the good times and the bad times and get them all out. I remember that. So with miscarriage, what I did was we baptized her. We went to church and we had like the holy water. Oh yeah, we did that at church because we were right near a church. Him, I had the baby. That's a little dark. Don't want to talk too much about that. It's goes a little too far, but, and then we did like a burial kind of in our yard. And that was, I noticed, okay, tell me if you can relate to this. I noticed every time I would think about the situation, I'd be like really, it would like pictures flash through your mind when you think of a situation you're going through or something that's hard. And then as soon as I did that little burial ceremony situation, that would be the end picture. So it would go flash, 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 and then that. And then I would feel calm.
It's like closure.
Yeah, it would end the story there. So every time it would end there.
So interesting.
So I feel like for moving on, if you have something that you do or say or figure out, decide, I think you have to like do something. You like decide something, figure it out, and then you do something about it, then your brain will like go to that as like the closure, as like the end. Just like if you have a belief and then you're like working on it, like maybe like, you're really hard on yourself and then you've decided, okay, I went through this really hard on yourself and you've decided you want to change that. And I remember being like, I want to change to feeling like you're worth it, our song. And I remember saying, God doesn't just create these pieces of trash. Like I'm not just a piece of trash. God created me in his image. So I can't be this piece of trash because I'm in his image. So every time I would think something too hard on myself or like being like too down on myself, whatever, I would go to that thought. That would be the anchor. So I feel like when you have like an anchor like that, it brings like closure to your situation or like healing because your brain, instead of doing that like negative loop over and over, it has a new place to go. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of, yeah, my story's not very long because it is kind of a short moment. It's like miscarriage happened in several hours. It was over. And then I had to move on. But then I did move on really well from expressing everything. When Barrett was born, I burst into tears.
Oh.
As soon as, well, not as soon, like 36 hours later, after I held him after NICU, I was like, the baby, I miscarried. That didn't happen with her, but I did like think about the baby, but it didn't really happen like that. So I literally burst into tears. It was wild. I was like, oh, who would the baby have been? But I couldn't have had both of them because I got pregnant right after.
Yeah, it's like Barrett wouldn't exist without.
Yeah,
It's interesting to think
without
about.
his sibling going to heaven. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Same with one of you, right? Yeah. Same with you. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that is weird to think about.
So that's my story of moving on. I guess my main thing of that is letting everything out. Just let it out. Don't. I don't like it when people say, do you guys hate this phrase? People say they're trying to be strong and not cry. Like, I was trying to be strong. I'm like, what? I don't get.
I get what they mean. Like,
It's really
if they're
weird
like,
to me.
oh, I know if I break down, everyone else in the room is going to break down, and I don't want to do that. Like, after like a death, I could see why people do that. Like, I get what they're saying, but like,
I don't get why they think
I don't like
it's-
that phrasing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, why do you think it's strong? Because if you're all sitting there not crying when you all need to cry, it's a really bad situation. If
Yeah.
everyone would just cry in like 30 minutes, the whole room would feel so much better.
Honestly,
So you're just sitting there being strong,
And it's
but
not
like,
weak to cry. That's not weak.
Yeah.
But it's
a lot of
really-
times it's actually very strong.
yeah, it's
Actually,
kind
I'd say
of
most
confused.
times.
Well, it's like, I don't know, the strong and weak thing doesn't even go in that conversation to me.
Yeah.
It's like healthy, unhealthy, holding things in. It's like if you had to go to the bathroom really bad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to be strong and hold it. It's like, you have to go to the bathroom. You just go to the bathroom. You really need to. It's like, but if I go, then everyone else is going to realize they have to go to the bathroom. Like, they do have to go to the bathroom. Can you all just go?
That is actually really
Or like,
Good,
you're thirsty. You need to drink water. Maybe that's a better one. Everyone's going to get thirsty. They're all going to have to drink
yeah,
it.
like you're hungry, you
Yeah.
need food.
You
Yeah.
can avoid it for so long, but it's going to happen.
TBH, I think this world would be a lot better if people would cry when they needed to.
Yeah. All right. So I should move on from mine to the
your
next
story.
person.
Yeah.
Who's going next? You?
Yeah.
I thought you were. Oh,
I could go. I'm like, why am I telling this story? I never told this one.
Oof.
I don't know how much detail I want to go into because I'm kind of scared. I feel like when you think moving on, you think like someone that you really care
Liked.
about.
Yeah.
Well, that you like and you miss that because it was so good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you like miss them and want them back, and that's why it's hard to move on. But I feel like for me, actually, oh, my heart is like racing. Like,
Oh.
for me, one of the hardest things to move on from in a weird way was like a really like toxic relationship that like I didn't want back at all. Basically, it was a relationship when I was a teenager. It was short-lived. It was only a few months. It wasn't even like official. And after I realized like, oh, I didn't want to be with him anymore, it just got so crazy. Like insane. Like to the point where I literally went with my dad to his lawyer to like write out a whole cause for like harassment and like legally trying to like get this to stop. And where like someone, a friend, like went, like a male person who was very intimidating, went to go like talk to this guy and be like, hey man, like stop. And he didn't care. My dad talked to his dad, didn't care, wouldn't stop. And like it went to the point of like legal, like literally he was served like a warning, basically, like if you don't stop, like we're going to get a restraining order. And that was finally what stopped it. So like this is like very like unhealthy behavior. And so like with that type of a breakup outcome, you would guess that the relationship itself was not very healthy either. And that was the thing, is I didn't really realize it at the time. It wasn't like he was like mean to me or like insulting me or like anything like that. But after that relationship, I literally felt like a different person. Like, and I remember like thinking this, like I felt like the wires in my head had been like crossed and like twisted into something else. And it was like, oh, it's so sad. Like, and it's been a while now, but I just don't think about it that often. It's like, yeah, it's like, I don't know how you move on from this. Like, clearly I'm not moved on, but it's like, I don't know. It was just so hard to deal with because I just felt like thinking about it was like this black lake of trauma that I didn't want to like dive into and think about. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, I'm so sad. Oh, I miss this person. It was like, I don't want to think about how much he affected me and changed like my mind. And it was so sad too because he was really like Christian. And we talked a lot about like faith, and he kind of like ruined my faith for me for like months. I was just like, I can't like I'm way like mixed up right now, and I need to like figure this out because the way that he talked about it, and again, it's like I couldn't even say any specific example of anything he said that was like, oh, that was wrong. It wasn't anything blatant or obvious. It was just like every time we talked like about faith, like I'd always come back being like, wow, I'm like not a good person. And it was like, it's not like he said that. He never said that, but that was like how it felt. And it's just like, I feel like people don't talk about how hard it is to move on from someone when it's like you move on like almost instantly in a way after the relationship because you're just like, I'm done, never want that again. I'm so done with this. But then like, I guess it's like there's that kind of like, I don't know if it's trauma exactly, but that hurt and like how they affected you that you have to work through that like just really stuck with me for a while. Like, it took me so long to move on from like the damage that was done. Like, I was like, I can't like look at another guy like for so long. I was like, I can't, like, it's so scary. And like, I just don't want to deal with that. I can't handle this. Like, I don't really know what else to say, but
you needed to do like deprogramming.
Yeah, it was so scary. Like, he changed my mind into like a different thing. And I don't even know how that happened. Like, I couldn't even tell you like, well, he said this, did that. No idea. I don't know how that happened. So
that's crazy.
And I think it seems like one of the biggest things that you experience, like one of the biggest parts of trauma was like you lost a feeling of personal safety. It was like he was such an unsafe
Well, that was the other thing. Like, maybe we should cut this out. I don't know. But like, there was a point where I was literally like, what if he tried to like kidnap me? Because I had reason to believe that might happen. Like, he never said that, but there was
he's very unhinged.
Reason to believe that. And like, I would literally come home and run from my car to my house.
Yeah. He tried to make you think you were crazy too.
Yeah. And he like told like my friends that like we had mutual friends and like things that would come back to me where it's like,
creepy.
Am I the problem?
Oh yeah.
here?
I tried talking to him multiple times and he was so weird trying to convince me that you were crazy.
Yeah. And it's like, look, I have problems. Okay. But like not like that.
Yeah. That was wild.
Yeah. So that's my story.
I feel it. It's
a good point. Because it's really hard to move on when you don't want to freaking think about any last thing about whatever it is. Like, you're avoiding it at all costs. How you move on?
You just want to be like, I don't want to be associated with that anymore. But you are, because it's like in you.
You haven't moved on.
Yeah.
And it's hard to trust anyone after that because you're like, I don't want this to happen again.
Yes, because at the time I was like, oh, he is a great guy. Great guy.
Yeah. You're like, how did I not see all these signs?
It's like, how is it I thought someone was such a great person and then they like destroyed me like that.
That is so
That's
wild.
really scary.
And it makes you feel like you can't trust yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Thinking
enough of
about that time, I feel
Next.
really scared.
Next.
Okay, who
We're
wants
all
to go
safe.
next?
Okay.
We're all safe here. Safe in this place.
Do you want to go next, Kath? Or do you want me to go next? Mine's a little lighter.
It's not really an uplifting episode anyway.
Mine's not as
Look, we
dark
got
as that.
Miscarriage.
I know.
Yes, like yeah. So
I
let's
could
take
go.
it up a notch.
Yeah, I
Okay.
could go. It's definitely not as heavy or dark as that.
Neither is mine.
But yeah, I mean, they're all different stories. So years later, I still am trying to figure out what it was about this relationship that was so different than all the other ones. Because I dated this guy, and it was the last person I dated before I met Max, my husband.
Wait, that was such a good opening line of like a chapter. Years later,
I
I'm still
love
trying
that.
to figure out
I mean,
what
it's
was different
true.
about this guy.
I love
I don't know why it hit really hard. Like it was kind of like
That's a good
how you were
question.
saying. Like
is.
it was only like 3 months. It wasn't even a
It's
long
always
thing.
the short one.
It's always a short one.
Because
so
all
true.
the theories on that I will
there
talk
was
about.
other guys I dated for way longer that I even couldn't move on from for years. Like, but this was short. It was 3 months of dating, and it was 6 months that I felt like I kind of needed to get over it. But I think reflecting back on it, it was because this guy, I think I always really kept myself kind of under wraps. Like I didn't really give my heart to anyone.
Yes.
Like I dated a lot of guys. I wrote poems about them. I fantasized about what if we were together. I mean, I would drive for hours at night listening to songs, like thinking of them. Like you think,
I
oh,
feel
you're
that.
really in deep. But it was so in my head. And like, I mean, this was very in my head too.
You're
but
very guarded.
I'm
guarded.
very guarded. And
As Lisa has said many
and
times.
honestly, the reason was because I was so deeply afraid. Like I had some experiences when I was like young teenager that I felt very rejected by boys. So I was really afraid to open myself up because like, what if I get rejected? Like, what if they abandon me? I was so scared.
That's really
So I just kind of like liked these guys who were really off limits, really far away. If I dated guys, it was like I didn't really like them that much. It was just like I couldn't let anyone in.
I feel like you made that decision as a teenager. You're like, okay, I've decided
I'm not giving my heart to anyone.
It's best to not risk the rejection, so let's never risk it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I remember the day that
That
I
was like
said
your
that.
policy.
I was
you know
like
what's
14,
really weird?
and I was like, I'm never gonna let anyone in again.
What's really weird is I remember the day I made my policy as well. My policy was all's fair in love and war. That was my policy. I wrote it down, and I was like, I'm just going to go for it and put myself out there, whatever. I made this whole journal entry, and I remember the day I made that. I think people always like kind of choose one of those sides, like which one feels more safe to them, basically.
Yeah.
And they make that policy. That's so
true.
weird that I remember that and you remember
And
that.
you just wonder, you're like, why am I still single? I like all these guys. And it's like, because you're literally like locked in a tower in your own self. And that was me.
Not the tower.
I was like, I want to find someone so bad. Yeah, but you're literally not open at all, Kath. So then I fell for this guy who was like the most emotionally unavailable person ever.
Oh, not the unavailable.
But he was so
That'll
like,
getcha.
he was so deeply broken. That is like the way I would describe him. He had been in a 5-year relationship, and it had been 2 years since he'd broken up with this girl, and he could not move on from her, and he was just not ready. But
He should be on this episode.
didn't want to, yeah, he would love move on. That really describes him. But he also didn't want to let go of me. So like, he and I formed this bond, and I like started really falling for him, and we talked every single day. We talked on the phone every night for hours. And it just became this like very emotionally close thing. But right at the time when I was starting to fall for him, he stopped flirting and started more just treating me like a friend.
No!
And he said to me like, I just want you to be like my
Sorry,
girl
Tristan.
best friend.
No.
And I was like,
That is why they say stay away
Wait,
from
he wasn't he the only guy? I'm trying to think through your dating history. Wasn't he the only one who you had that like talking on the phone every night situation with?
no. That's
I
not,
can't think
no,
of any
I mean, like
other people you're
like,
talking about?
Well, I won't say the name, but from Malibu, I talked to him like all the time for hours.
Really?
I actually dated for like 9 months. Yeah,
Well, he
there was
doesn't
other
count.
guys, but like I didn't.
Was
really
he
like
the only
him.
one, though?
This
'Cause he
is-
doesn't
yeah,
count.
I don't know what it was, but there was just this very specific like.
Because normally I don't remember you talking to them that much. I remember
Yeah.
the guys being a little more like not
this guy
wanting
would
to
text
talk
me in
as
the
much.
morning from when he woke up, and we would talk all the way till he went to bed every single day.
Most,
Oh,
most of the
that'll
guys I
get
feel like you
you.
like didn't like to do that.
Yeah, they were pretty
That
like
might have been
hit or
it.
miss. Yeah, that was probably a big part of it. And he was just like really, he had a very sweet side. He really tried. He really opened up to me like we would just sit in the parking lot because I don't know, he only wanted to hang out at night. It's really weird. He didn't even want to go out in the day because he was just like,
you
I don't
ever
like,
see
I
him?
want people to see me.
Did you see him in the
really
daytime
sad.
ever?
No. So finally
That's
what
so
happened was
interesting.
it was Valentine's Day and I was like, I want to see you. We'd been like dating, quote unquote, I don't know, for 2 months. This is before he like wanted to just be friends. And he's like, I don't really want to see you on Valentine's Day. It's too serious. And I was like,
Sick.
okay.
Oh.
So I was like, I'm done. So then I met up with him. He went to Chick-fil-A. That was one of the only restaurants. He only ate at like 2 restaurants, like Buffalo Wild Wings, Chick-fil-A. He went to Chick-fil-A, got his
Refined.
food. We met at this park at night and I had written him a letter. And I said in the letter, like, I just didn't want to crush him because I could tell he was like really going through a lot. And I was like, I really like you and I really connect with you, but I can't do this anymore. Like, you are not ready for a relationship and I'm probably not either. Like, this is just not going to work. And I gave it to him and I thought almost like maybe he'd be relieved because he clearly doesn't want to be with me, isn't ready. But instead he started bawling.
Oh, no.
And he was like, no, I can't lose you in my life.
Absolutely not.
And it sort of just went on and on like this for like over like a very painful month of like, and I remember I sat down one night for like, I think it took me 2.5 hours. My hand was like throbbing. And I wrote down a timeline of our entire like week by week. It was just, it started in December. It was now March, every single week. And I wrote to title it A Case Study in Pulling
How
Away.
did you remember?
Because I could remember every single week. I think I went back to texts and stuff.
She remembers it all too well.
I remember, yeah, all too well. And after I wrote that, I was so convicted, like, this is not
This ain't
going anywhere. And I was so sad because I loved talking to him every day. And the part that was the dagger was like, every night he used to text me, good night, sweet girl, or good night, pretty girl. He was like
That's
very
me
Southern.
tonight. Good night, sweet
Good night,
girl.
sweet girl. Good night, pretty girl. And then
It sounds like he's talking to like his farm animal.
I was just a farm animal. And then one night he just wrote good night.
Oh, absolutely not.
And I was like,
That's when you know.
I just knew. So yeah. So I tried to break it off and he would not let me. He kept saying like, no, please, like I'm gonna change. I think I can be ready.
I hate this.
I think I could be with you, and like we'd hang out and it'd be really fun. And then it just was like back and forth. And finally, like it was my birthday, and he didn't want to see me, and he was like, you know, my cousin and I go to Buffalo Wild Wings to get half price wings every Wednesday. Like,
so I can't come to wait. He
so
said
he
here
hang out
once.
with me
I can't.
before I went to LA for my birthday. So that
Wait,
the
they really do that every Wednesday?
yes, I guess.
You love a man with a rigid schedule.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
He was extremely rigid.
God,
So anyway,
I can't hear.
that's what happened.
That's like
and
Amy.
It was really sad to be second.
I would break up my
second to
rigid
Wild Wings.
schedule.
It was really sad. But so I finally broke things off. I remember I was really late to choir and the choir director's like, you can't sing, you were too late. And I was like, I was in my car crying and I couldn't like stop because I was really sad. And I think it wasn't
You
even,
told the choir director that?
no, I told her later, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." But in the moment, I was just like, "Okay, sorry, I was late." But I think so. Moving on, it took me 6 months, and it was one of those things where I think that this guy, because I actually really did open up to him, and I actually did really try, and I kept trying, even when he was like just treating me like very not significant and not important in his life, and I think.
Hate it.
I think that's what hurt the most was just like, I'm putting so much into this. Wow, it still gets me thinking about it. It's like, I don't know, it was a long time ago. But I think that whole relationship was a metaphor of me for like feeling like I'm just doing so much for someone that doesn't really give me the time of day. And I think that connected me to some very deep like abandonment, like childhood, old wounds. And I remember like driving and seeing the same car that he had and just being like gutted, like looking like, is that him? Like maybe he'll see me and maybe something will be different. And I was always so like good about once I cut it off, it's a clean break. I'm not talking to them anymore. I'm done with this. I threw away all the things that they give me, whether it was a concert ticket or like a card. I would just throw away all the things that a guy gave me because I was like, I'm done. But this guy, like, I actually reached out to him every like 6 weeks for like months afterwards. I like could not. It was like this, like almost like a just aching, like throbbing pain. Like I couldn't stop, and that made me feel even more desperate because then he started dating one of his female friends who would always call him when we were together, and he'd said like, "Oh yeah, don't worry about her, she's a friend." And they started dating after that, and it was just
Absolutely
like,
not.
I should have seen that.
I hate that.
And I almost wonder if that was part of it. Like maybe he always liked her. I don't know. But anyway, I don't even know what was helpful. I think it was just that I finally let myself feel everything and I didn't try to stop it. And I did feel ridiculous because I would literally be like crumbled on the floor in my room crying. But I knew inside, I was like, I'm mourning not just him, but like so many relationships in my life where I felt really like discarded by someone. And I just like really leaned into it. And Lauren, I actually wrote my song Where It All Ended. I like sent her a bunch of voice memos, a bunch of all the poems I'd written about him. And just the process of writing that song was so cathartic because Lauren sent me the demo and Lauren's like, oh, I put all your stuff together and she added some things. And like, it was this amazing song. And I was actually doing a 9-hour solo road trip that day. And I listened to the song on loop over and over again. And I think I cried like almost the entire time for like most of the 9-hour drive. And it was just like, the pain was still there, but like I showed it to like my friends. I actually sent it to the guy. I was like,
I will say that song for me was inspired by All Too Well.
Yeah.
And I feel like it is equally as like iconic breakup song as that song.
It's so good.
like just
the inspiration for that was All Too Well mixed with like emo.
Mayday Parade.
Yeah, Mayday Parade.
Love
3
it.
Cheers for 5 years. I love that song. So yeah, anyway, I don't really know what helped me. It was just like feeling everything, and getting it all out.
Common theme.
And I really believe that relationship was like, I finally opened up to someone and it just like wrecked me. And I think if I hadn't gone through that, I don't think I would have met my husband. It was like, I was living in a vortex for years where I was only unavailable guys who were just emotionally so closed off yet so flirtatious with you, which is like the worst.
I hate it. That's the
And then
worst
I
combo.
woke up one day 6 months later and I walked into a restaurant and I saw Max and I was like, he's so like good and like just like stable and kind and like, is this what it feels like to talk to someone you could actually be in a relationship with? Like it was like I had walked into a different world where
Love
someone
to
was
see
available and
it.
I was ready for them. So
Love to see it.
it had a happy ending, but it was very hard to like get through that to that place.
Yeah.
So let it all out. That's what we're
Yeah.
getting.
Let it all out. Yeah.
Yes,
Let
dive
it
into
all
the
out.
Black Lake.
Cry,
guys.
cry.
You have to.
Cry. Just
I'm curious to hear if
cry.
Amy's involved. Let it all out or don't let it all out.
Well, this is an interesting one because this is called A Tale of Two Breakups.
Oh, we love a title.
Because
Double
I love
feature.
a title.
A tale of two breakups.
There's a tale of two breakups with the same guy.
Oh,
And
classic.
they're very different. Like, very different.
Okay.
In outcome.
Love it.
Which is very strange. Well, it's not actually, whatever. Okay. So, let's see. I met this guy. We dated a little bit, but I was like, oh my gosh, like, this person I would love to date. Like, we went out a few times and, like, we were talking all the time and, like, it was so, like, real, which was so healing after the last guy I went, gave me major trauma of, like, no one will ever, like, be real and guys are just giant liars and I can't hear. Oh, he really did.
That's just giant liars.
And I can't hear.
Literally, the first people I tried to talk to after that last guy, I literally was like, I can't speak to you. You're just going to lie to me. And you're just going to, like, I couldn't do it. It took me a long time to get over that, too. But it was so, like, shocking. Like, oh, my gosh, this guy isn't, like, a giant liar. And he's, like, nice and great. And we connect. And it was, like, really real to me, at least. And him, too, I would say. And then... This is so wild. So then after a few, like it was so short at first, after like a few weeks, then ghosted. Bam, ghosted. Horrible. Death. Dying. Dead. So bad. Like ghosting is cruel and unusual punishment.
It
I don't
is.
care what anybody says. Ghosting is a message. It's not a message. Ghosting is, I could go on
punishment.
forever. It's
Yeah.
despicable. Okay? Anyway.
Yeah, because you're leaving the person
then-
just to wonder and wonder,
I
like,
know.
what went wrong? What did I do? What happened? Like,
And I would like to not say it's true, but it is true. Lauren is a catalyst for most things that I do. Lauren will say things and I'm like, okay, I can do that. And it's true. And so, like, I was like, I can't, like, he's ghosting me. What do? I don't know what to do. And Lauren's like, well, why don't you just, like, say something? You clearly want to speak to him. And I was like, I could do that. So then I texted him and I was like, hey, what's up? He texted me back a week later. He's like, can we talk?
Whoa.
And I was
Oh
like,
my god.
He had to think about it.
ha, who, what? Did someone die? What's going on?
He's like, sorry, I was in the shower.
literally, I don't even know.
I hate
And
that.
he calls me the next day because I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, I didn't know what he was going to say. I was like, did your grandmother die? Did you flee the country? Like, what the heck is happening here? So then he calls me. And for some reason, I didn't expect him to break it off where I should have. And I was like, well, maybe it was the last thing I just wanted to happen. So then we have this very short conversation. Is it 8 minutes? I have ridiculous memory for dumb things.
Love that.
And like, he literally was just like, I'm so sorry. Like, I just don't think that we're like the right kind of, like, we're just really different. And I just don't see that working for a relationship and blah, 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 kind of. And I was like, I don't get it, but okay, whatever. And I was like, so is that like what you were trying to say by ghosting me for the last 2 weeks? Like,
Did you
by
say
saying
that?
nothing?
yes.
Good for you.
And I was like, 'cause that's not really like good.
angry
That's
Amy.
not behavior.
Amy
Like,
gets so
acceptable
savage.
behavior.
It's so scary.
I was literally so angry because I was like, if that was the message, like that's the message I received, and that was not a great delivery. I did not like that.
Not a good delivery.
He's like, I'm so sorry. And then I was like, yeah, me too. Okay, bye. I was like, I guess I won't be talking to you later. I don't know.
Classic.
Like, it was so bad. And that killed me. Death, dying, dead once again. Because it was so bad. It was like I went on a roller coaster, like that one in Magic Mountain that goes back really fast and then goes all the way back really fast.
Yes.
So like
And your
boomerang.
stomach just drops, you're like,
I was like,
When you get to the top.
what happened? How did this? It was so disturbing to my soul, to my being, to my aura, because I was like, where? Wait, something happened, I swear. But it didn't, but it did. But it was so short, but it happened. I don't know. And then one of my classic breakup moves is I delete the text messages probably while we're on the phone.
delete.
And I'm like,
Oh, love
bye.
it. Love a good delete.
It's so, yeah, I always delete them. I'm not sure if I will
I
amend
never
that
deleted
policy
them.
moving forward. I don't know. We'll
You
see.
and
never
Kath,
delete.
You and Kath are the same,
ever.
and Lauren and I
Get
are
rid
the
of it.
same.
Put it in the
bad.
dumpster.
That's
Literally.
So,
They're
so
still
true.
on my laptop, but I delete them from my phone, which makes my life a lot better.
Oh, no.
So then I was just like, I gotta go. But I didn't realize they don't delete from your laptop as well. But that's a whole different story.
okay.
That will go on to our second segment. Anyway, so we break up. Horrible, death, dying, dead. Cry, cry, cry. What song is that? I don't know.
You cry, cry,
Yeah,
cry.
anyway.
in a
Cry,
lonely
lots
heart.
of tears. It was horrible. I was like so upset and confused and like distressed because I like felt so many things that I never got to like express. And I felt like someone had just like put me through a weird wormhole. It was disturbing to my being. So then I remember this night very clearly about 6 weeks after that. It was November 15th, 16th. And then I'm walking around my neighborhood with a blanket on and a mug that says, I told my therapist about you with the chai tea latte. in it. It's a very bright move.
That's really
my
funny.
God.
And then I ended up calling him and being like, hey. And then I didn't expect him to answer and I didn't expect myself to call him. I've never done that. I don't do that.
Wow, impulsive.
And then he answered and I was like, ah! So then after that,
You got startled.
we said, no. I literally was like, I don't do things that I don't think through, really.
Yeah.
So I was disturbed in my very being. Lauren did not tell me to do that.
I didn't.
She did not. So that's probably why it went bad. No. The whole thing, anyway. So then we reconnected and actually ended up talking, dating, whatever for the next few months. And then, as I should have predicted from the fact that it broke up once already, it wasn't going to go extremely well, you know? Like, we should know these things, but sometimes
You never know.
got to see it
Yeah.
through, my boy. You
What was
just
that
gotta.
like?
You live and you
What was
learn.
it like dating him after? Was it like, were you like walking
First of
on
all,
eggshells or?
Deep shame because
What?
I cannot go back to a man that did that, but I did. But also,
shame.
he wasn't extremely toxic. He was just flaky, which in itself is toxic, but not like
He wasn't like malicious.
maliciously
Yeah, yeah.
toxic. So I felt like, okay, I can be like in this again because it's not being maliciously toxic. And he was also like the second time around, he started off being like so even more into it than the first time. It was very confusing. But like I was like, oh, Lauren, I can't believe I'm doing this. Why am I doing this? And I was like, I don't know, he's not good enough for you. And I was like, I know. So then I was like, I'm sorry, whatever. So me apologizing to you for dating someone. I was like, I literally never felt such deep shame. But like he was so, I don't know. We're just magnetic. Love it. Great guy in certain ways. But also, whatever. As you can predict from the Tale of Two breakups, things just slowly and not that, well, they were good and then they weren't, you know? And he doesn't really, I think, understand how to end things. And so I kind of had to be like, okay, what the heck is going on? You're in or you're out or you're in or, like, I can't do the grid bungee jumping all the time. Like, it was walking on eggshells all the time. I was severely stressed out all the time because I was like, is he going to ghost me again? Are we going to talk again? Like, I would yell at him to my friend Mel on the phone, and he would always text me when I was yelling at him about not texting me. Always.
He heard you from across
Always.
the city.
And Mel and I would be like, what? So basically, I was just like, this is not going anywhere. But I was like, I know that I have to see this through into a place where I feel like, okay, I've done everything I can. Like, this guy means a extremely deep amount to me, whatever the eloquent way of saying that is. Like, he means like a really a lot to me. And I know that if I break this off prematurely, I'm going to have a horrible time moving on.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to be back where I was last fall.
Yeah.
Like a few months ago. Like I couldn't do it. I was like, I need to do these things and I need to see this through and I need to like learn these. Like, I just knew that I could trust my gut. That was the biggest thing that I learned from this relationship was that I felt, and even though I was severely stressed out all the time, because like, I don't know if he's going to ditch me again, I felt extremely safe with him because he was extremely respectful and kind and nice to me. So I got to learn all these incredible things about myself, and I got to like trust my gut and learn how to use my gut and to be like, okay, like I feel like if I take it, like I just knew at one point I was like, okay, this is over. I can't do this anymore. This is not good. Like, this has just broken down so deeply. It's not a thing. Like, I'm sorry to myself and to him, but this is not going to be good. After things were just breaking down, then I was like, look, buddy, what is going on? I called him out one time for jumping off the grid.
I love it.
Homie's like, I'm so sorry. Like, you're an incredible person. I've not been treating you with the respect that you deserve. And I'm like,
That's good
okay,
that he
let's
said
talk
that.
about it. No, exactly. I was like,
but
"That's
it's like,
really
it's a
nice."
little dramatic.
It was everything. Was
I know, but better than
preemptively-
like,
no.
oh,
It
you
was
don't
a
deserve
text.
my time.
It's like kind of like, okay, a little
It's like the
unhinged
thing of
vibes. Like, I'm so
preemptively. It's preemptively apologizing so the other
what
party
he's about
can't
to
get
do.
mad at you too.
Oh, I love
'Cause-
to do that.
Yeah, it's
Me too.
It's not great. So then, whatever, we had a nice chat. But one thing I learned from Lauren, once again, which is probably why I'm so savage, partially, is Lauren was like, you have to tell people how you feel when you're like breaking things off. You told me about doing this with another guy, and I carried it through, you know. But like, you have to like really lay it out there. So we had this really great conversation where we just really laid everything out there. And I was like, I told him all the great things that I loved and respected about him. And I literally, this was so embarrassing, but I teared up. Being like, I'm so grateful for everything that you like taught me and like how you made me feel really like safe and blah, blah. And he's like, that means so much to me. And I was like, you mean so much. Like, it meant so much to both of us. And we got to have this really great conversation. And then we got to be like, okay, look, he told me all the things that actually were going on, and then everything made sense. And then
You just communicated.
literally, and then it made so much sense. And then it was so easy to like move forward from that point.
I love it.
It was so easy, like
Easy
with
breezy.
all the love and respect in the world of like, okay, yes, like this was a really not like it wasn't someone that's ever going to be like there in this, wherever he is in his life right now, like barring some wild change. So like I can walk forward peacefully knowing I said everything. He said everything to me. And so we got to have really great closure. And so I got to actually move on peacefully, which I could never have done.
Love it.
If I hadn't, not that I'm saying talk to people. Well, I don't know.
Well, it's
Maybe.
like-
Another level of toxicity.
It's hard to move on with all these what ifs, and you
Yes.
just squashed all the what ifs.
So like, I don't
well,
know.
We know what would have happened.
Yeah, if someone like ghosts you, you're well within your rights to be like, hey, so I'm
You're well.
I'm interpreting from your behavior that you don't want to speak anymore, but like,
Yeah.
can we have a conversation about this just so I can like, we can move
on.
forward peacefully? And even just doing that probably gives a lot of closure. But like, that's my message for the people is have the conversation. Say everything you need to say.
Ooh.
Like, don't-
Radical honesty.
Yes, because I did that with the last guy who I chewed out as well. because he was a
a
jerk.
good message.
He's the one that gave me PTSD about men being
Be
liars.
honest.
Yeah.
Put it out there. Speak your mind.
Yes.
Say what you're really thinking.
And that is how you're going to feel at peace with the situation.
Love it. Great
Yeah.
advice.
Love it.
Thank you.
Love it.
That was a very wild episode.
So
Wow, guys.
Emotional roller coaster.
I'm sensing we don't have a sister spotlight.
What? I do.
She does.
Oh, you do.
I do.
Never mind. Sorry, I just gave it away.
Oh, okay.
That's
well,
okay.
Sister Spotlight
I forgot.
is where each one of us sisters has a spotlight to herself every week.
Love to
and
see it.
we have Get Real with Christina, Sappy or Sassy Thoughts with Kath, Lisa's
Corner.
Amy's Current Crisis, and Lauren's Take. And this week, who could be the sister spotlight goes on me since I'm
Tristan's
back.
gonna give us one.
So this is related to Tristan, so let's jump in. Yeah, she's waking
I
up
love
perfect
newborn
timing.
grunts.
Wow,
ready to
I
eat.
love that for her.
She slept for 2 hours.
Good job, Tristan.
Whoa.
I've been holding her for 2 hours. I'm so sore from holding her, but I'm not complaining. Not complaining. So,
That'll give you some mad
Did
muscles.
you tell people
girl.
you're sitting on a ball right now?
no. But I'm sure they
sitting on a
gathered
yoga
that I'm
ball.
not this good at.
Well, I don't know. I would have been like, what's happening? So
I'm just
sitting
like
on a ball.
hovering over my stool. You'd have to be really talented to do that. So, guys, Get Real with Christina. She's waking up. Get Real with Christina. I just want to say, you know the Jonas Brothers song "Hold On"? They say,
Oh, I love that one.
when you love someone and they break your heart, don't give up on love. Have faith. Restart.
Bro, when they say that at their concert,
amazing.
wow,
It's
what's
like,
his name was
"Have faith,
ghosting me. I
restart."
cried my eyes out.
Oh my gosh, it's such a good one.
It's the best line that they have.
That is how I live my life. And I'm talking about my VBAC and relating it to that. So I had a VBAC, which is a vaginal birth after a C-section. And according to the internet, only about 12% of women who
Wow.
had a cesarean, C-section, have a vaginal birth afterwards. It's not very common, and it's kind of hard to find like the right doctor who will really be experienced and support you and blah, 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 all this different stuff. So I did all the research I could, all this different stuff. But anyway, so I went into it and I knew I wanted to do that, but I knew that it was also not the most common thing. And there were going to be obstacles in the way from my the mental aspect, and also from the world, from doctors, hospital, blah, blah, whatever it is. Lots of obstacles. So my theme of this is when you have something that you really deeply want to go for and there are obstacles in the way or challenges, don't give up. Have faith, restart, go for it. So this is my short story of that, which is I looked into everything and I knew there were a lot of obstacles. I knew it was going to be tough. I knew it was going to be a challenge. And I was going for a specific thing. I came to the conclusion, okay, this is weird. I thought I'm probably going to have a really big baby. I didn't know it was going to be this big, but I thought I'm probably going to have a big baby. That can make things a little more difficult depending, not always. And I want my best possible chances of having this birth because I want to have a bunch of kids. So I had like a really strong reason for that. If I was like your average person who has only 2 kids, then be like, it's my last pregnancy, last birth. It's not like the stakes aren't as high, but my stakes were high because I was like, I really don't want this to like, stop me from being able to have as many kids as I would want. So it was kind of a lot of pressure. So I was like, okay, gotta go for this. I gotta do everything I can. And I could really feel like, the negativity from the world, because there is like a lot of negativity around it for various reasons. I can't get into any of that. It's way too many details, but I did so much research. I got into it all.
So much research.
And it made sense. Like, this makes sense. This is a great idea. I should go for this. And I came up against many obstacles, like my doctor, which I ended up switching, and a lot of like mental obstacles, physical things with like my body throughout pregnancy, and had to just keep pushing and keep going and fight for it. So if you're watching this and you're like, oh, I have these things I want to do, or this thing I'm thinking of, and I'm just gonna not do it. Because I think when we get older, when we're little, we do it all the time. It's like, I want to learn how to ride a bike. I just fell 20 times today. I'm gonna try again tomorrow. But when we're older, we don't really do that anymore. It's like, I don't even want to get on it. I don't even want to fall. I'm just not gonna fall. We're just gonna skip the whole thing and just not fall. And I'm just gonna sit in my bed and go on my phone because this is way more comfortable. Duh, right? Maybe more comfy. But I am encouraging everyone to not do that and get on the bike instead, even if you're going to fall 20 times today and maybe 20 times tomorrow, it's so worth it to just know that you went for it. You totally gave it your all. And that was my goal. Is I want to know I gave it my all. We can't control the outcome of everything. There's plenty of things I can't control, right? I can't control her weight, that she was 10 pounds and 1 ounce.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I knew I could control like me not having an epidural and getting into a really good position and having this physiological birth, blah, 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 all this different stuff. So, well, I wanted to put a detail in here. In the VBAC community, it's a community. After you get your VBAC, you put your arm up and go like, yeah, and you take a picture. I remember telling my dad, I was like, so you don't know what a VBAC is because he doesn't really know that much about birth, which is weird for someone with 11 kids. But I told him about it and he was like, oh, cool. And I was like, it's pretty a challenging thing. And the odds can be really good, but it's a more of a rare thing. And then I was like, and afterwards they take this picture. And I was talking to my dad in the garage. And then he's like, oh, let's take a picture like that right now. So then he had me posing it and he took a picture and he's like,
Oh,
it's
Dad.
for like my dad's really into goals and everything. He's like, for like visualizing that it's going to happen. And this is like the success moment after it happened.
Aw.
So he took the picture and then like texted it to me afterwards.
Wait, that's
and I
so
have it
cute.
in my text from him. And then after I got my VBAC, she was born, then I texted, I was like, Dad, I didn't remember the picture, blah, blah, blah. And it was so funny.
That's so
Dad.
cute. I love that.
So that's my final words are, when you love someone and they break your heart, don't give up on love. Have faith, restart. Apply it to anything. Love someone, don't get a vaginal birth, whatever it is.
Fail a
Don't give
test.
up on birth. Have faith, restart.
Yeah.
Don't give up on insert something else. Think of something. School. Have faith. Restart.
Your dream career, your dream
Don't give
house,
up on
moving
men.
somewhere.
Exercising.
Don't give up on exercising.
Apparently
Have
men
faith.
are not all big
Restart.
liars.
And that's the end. Thank you guys for joining. If you want to get every single episode and all the bonus content, and this is all the past stuff too, it's all on Patreon. There's so much good stuff on there. Amazing Cimarelli content. If you're a big fan, you're going to love it. So check it out. It's always linked in the description. And welcome back to me. Hopefully, welcome back to Lisa soon. We'll see. We'll see. And welcome to the world, Tristan. Welcome to the podcast, Tristan.
Yay.
Such a little
And
cutie.
we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Which we will be, reacting to more wild Reddit stories, and it will
Oh,
be
I'm
on
so
our
ready.
Patreon
I can't
only.
wait for
So
this.
join us on Patreon to see all the wild
I
stories.
cannot
my
wait.
God.
It's gonna be so wild. Last time it was so fun.
All right, see ya.
See you then. Bye.
You've been listening to the Cimarelli podcast. Follow Cimarelli on Spotify and subscribe on YouTube. You can also find Cimarelli on Facebook and Instagram.